The NBA did give small markets a chance. It gave them that opportunity. It gave the public an opportunity to systematically change how it looks at basketball as a whole. And quite frankly, the public has made it known that it does not have a preference to small market teams or just not seeing the same old Kevin Durant, Stephen Curry, GOAT King LeBron. People claim they're tired of the same teams. They're tired of the same players. They're begging for fresh blood, but that's not what the numbers indicate. The public is absolutely going to watch if it has better matchups. And people like to say that, oh, you just going off because GOAT King LeBron's not in the finals. No. I'm not saying it's a disaster because GOAT King LeBron's not in the finals. Now, the matchups are a disaster, as a matter of fact. Nuggets Celtics would have been a much better matchup. I would have had no problem with Nuggets against Celtics. Okay, how about this year? It's not there in the world that GOAT King LeBron doesn't make it to the finals, but I have more of a reason to watch if you have the Cavs against the Thunder. So this is what I'm saying. You can still have different teams in the finals, but have much better matchups. And we haven't had good matchups in the past few years. But my general point here is that the NBA is not going to repeat a ratings disaster by any means. It is true that the viewership did far better through the entirety of the playoffs. So the ratings have been up for the first round, in the second round, in the conference finals. But now the NBA has said we need to take this up a notch. We need to have the best possible matchup for the NBA finals to be sure that we can generate the revenue to pay off the advertiser dollars that will be needed under this CBA. But there's no excuses. There is no bluffing. This is a huge network, interconnected in play, manipulating the entire scenery. Adam Silver says, I'll give the small markets a chance. I'll try to have more uncertainty of outcome. Adam Silver says, I have more uncertainty of outcome. I'm trying to market new names. In the process, it helps Las Vegas make record-breaking profits when teams such as the Celtics and the Lakers and the Warriors and the Cavs don't even make it to the conference finals. But now there comes a point in time where at the biggest stage of basketball, we are going to do a lot better in the future. And indeed, they'll do a lot better in the future. I 100% guarantee it. How do we make back the numbers from this disastrous Pacers Thunder NBA Finals? How do we do it? GOAT King LeBron, the most polarizing. You love him or you hate him. The LA Lakers, you either love him or you hate him. Got to make back that money. This is the first year that the CBA has kicked in. We have to make that money back next year. I think a new year with NBC is going to be a very big year for GOAT King LeBron James. That nostalgic chasing 5 and 6 rings, GOAT King LeBron is going to bring that back. Michael was chasing 4, 5, 6 rings under NBC in the 1990s. Now Goat King LeBron is chasing his 5th and 6th rings with NBC. The old song is back. So that nostalgia is coming back next year. It's NBC. It's the pursuit to the 5 in the 6th ring. In his day, he tied Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Goat King LeBron tied Kareem Abdul and Michael Jordan. Things are going to change. You see, Adam Silver gave the small markets a chance. He gave people love talking shit. Oh, I'm so tired of the same teams. I'm tired of the same players. Well, why the hell are you not watching? It's certainly not only Goat King LeBron and Stephen Curry and Celtics and Warriors fans and Lakers fans not watching the finals, or Nikola Jokic and his gang not watching the finals. You're not even excited to watch the finals without Goat King LeBron and Stephen Curry. It's you haters that always be saying you tired of the Warriors and the Lakers, but why aren't you watching that? Why aren't you watching? Why aren't you watching? You say one thing, but in practice, you're doing the exact opposite. So there'll be no bitching and no whining when Goat King LeBron is in the finals next year, because you had your chance to at least pretend to be interested in Pacers, Thunder, and watch this motherfucking NBA finals. But what do we have? Not even when the Thunder are up. When it's 0-0, both teams are fresh slate. One team is not ahead of the other. You had the opportunity to produce big numbers for the ratings in game 1. What happened? You didn't show up. You didn't even care about these two. That's why I said they're two flyover states. They're two flyover states. It's the lowest rated final ever since they took the 2007. Lowest rated game 1 in 18 years. We're going to have a hell of a lot of a better matchup next year. I 100% guarantee it. This bullshit ends. Some people thought Mavs Celtics was a great matchup. Heading into the Mavs Celtics, they thought it was a great matchup. But it wasn't a great matchup. The Mavs had a team of journeymen. It was just Kyrie and Luka and a team of journeymen against the deepest team in basketball, the Boston Celtics. That was a terrible matchup as well. The only thing compelling was seeing Kyrie booed at the Garden. That was it. But it was a garbage finals. It was a garbage matchup. The Mavs were completely one-sided, dominated, because they had nobody. In addition, they didn't have a third star to counter the struggle of Kyrie Irving. That was the problem. They thought they could counter this bad domestic viewership with the European superstar Nikola Jokic. I'm sure the ratings are great. You're up there watching, don't get. But this year, I mean, Canada ain't about watching SGA. They about trying to see the end of a Stanley Cup title drought. Canada could care less about cheering on SGA. They about seeing that drought end for Canada, because it's been over 30 years. So SGA being from Canada, they don't even care about that right now. They don't even care about that. But you see, it truly is over. Now they have to bring in the do-re-mi every single round of the playoffs. Not just the first 3 rounds. It's great that you're making the first round and second round more interesting with more uncertainty of outcome. But now it's time to take it the next step, is to produce great numbers all throughout the playoffs, including the NBA Finals. There is room for improvement. There is a gap in the viewership close to the finish line, but not all the way to the finish line. Something a little extra needed to get to the finish line a little bit faster. It is producing some upsets in the playoffs next year. The Lakers go through upsetting teams, producing great drama and great excitement. I think a Celtics team that will struggle until Jason Tatum's return. People doubting the Celtics. Celtics are upsetting teams. They're winning in 7 over Indiana. You know, they're beating New York in 6 games next year. Next year's playoffs could be great playoffs. And they're not going to completely fuck over the fans like they did this year. They completely fuck over everybody. This playoffs has been a disaster. The biggest disaster, I think, is the court. What graphics are they using out there? They're using digital graphics. Oh my God, what a fugazi. Digital graphics? This is a joke. Did they really implement digital graphics with the Larry O'Brien trophy? Did they really do that on Sunday? Because I didn't watch the game. I was watching the Yankees Red Sox. I have 2 TVs here. I decided to join in on the boycott of the garbage, disastrous Pacers Thunder matchup. You want it to be all about flair. You want it to be all about putting superstars in there. At the end of the day, that's how you make the dough rain meet. When you think it from a business aspect, these people need to be fired. Whose idea it was to put the Pacers and the Thunder in the finals. You need to be fired. We need some much better fucking matchups. Are they going to rig one of these 2 games for Indiana? If they're worried about losing money, yeah. They may tell the Thunder to lay down for a quarter. And then they outscore them by 20 points. And then that 1 quarter makes a difference. But this finals is a complete and utter disaster. If the NBA don't give a fuck about the money, then they're going to let the Thunder win the next 3 games. If the NBA cares about the fact that the ratings are a disaster, then they're going to have the Thunder throw a game, just like they sold game 1. They're going to sell one of these 2 games at Indiana. If the NBA really cares about these garbage, disastrous NBA Finals ratings, they're going to tell OKC to take a dive during one of these 2 games. Or they could just don't give a fuck. Have it end with the Thunder winning back at OKC. And they be like, it's okay, we'll cover the deficit next year. When we have the most watched NBA Finals since 2016. When we have the Lakers and the Celtics in the finals. We have GOAT King LeBron chasing Michael Jordan. We have Michael Jordan's side clips in there. But they got to bring back that Larry O'Brien trophy on the court. They need to bring back the side logos of NBA Finals in the cursive. They have to bring back the Larry O'Brien trophy mid-court. But players are slipping. They're going to get injured. Well, how come you put this extravagant display for the NBA Cup? All this artwork mid-court for the NBA Cup. But you're worried about players slipping on the court. Well, why are you doing all of that for the NBA Cup then? You sure as hell can put a Larry O'Brien trophy, a golden Larry O'Brien painted trophy midcourt. If you're able to do that for the NBA Cup, this commissioner needed to be fired. Adam Silver out. Fire him. He's terrible. He's terrible. Terrible matchup. The past few years been terrible matchups. And no, it's not because Goki the Bond ain't there. Cavs done the much better opportunity to sell. Disaster. Celtics Nuggets, what y'all been doing? Disaster! 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 I'll let Heat Nuggets slide because, you have one boring matchup for 1 year. But no, they have to continue this crap for 2 straight years. No, I wasn't deluded enough to think the Mavs are going to beat the Celtics because I knew they had no bench. They had nobodies. It was Kyrie and Luka and a bunch of misfit journeyman squads up against the Celtics. Come on, this was a terrible matchup. But you see, we can't repeat any of this nonsense anymore. Do better. Do better, Adam Silver. Do a hell of a lot better than what you're doing right now. Disaster. Meanwhile, Stanley Cup playoffs is on. That series is going to be tied 2-2. This one going down to the wire.